Good morning. Let's all take a nice deep breath and settle in to our sits bones on this lovely, I hope it's lovely where you are, this lovely, beautiful, sunny morning. Close your eyes or lower your lids, whatever you like. And come inside into the softness of the space within, the sweetness of the inner space. And as you arrive, scan from your hips to the top of your head and notice where you might be holding any tension, any held energy, and just take another breath and let that go best you can. Just noticing where that energy might be living for right now. Taking note. And perhaps letting it go or just knowing it's there. Working with that in our practice today. And as you sit, notice your breath. The in-breath and the out-breath. And begin to slow it down. As you breathe, you might notice a deepening into your sits bones and your legs. And you can imagine rooting down into the earth. Little roots growing right out of your sits bones. Your tailbone. Feeling grounded and stable. Bring some light energy all the way up your spine to the base of your skull. Lengthen the back of your neck. And let that energy flow right out the top of your head, reaching out towards the sky. Feeling connected with the earth below and the expanse of the sky above. Feeling the breath, looking within perhaps for inspiration and intention to guide you through your practice. And connecting with the flow of loving kindness that exists, tapping into that. Practice some metta this morning. Metta for ourselves, loving kindness for ourselves so that we are more whole, so that we feel loved and can extend love out. So if that doesn't resonate with you, please feel free to substitute any words, any beings, whoever they may be. May I be happy and peaceful. May I be healthy and strong. May I be safe and protected. May I be filled with loving kindness and forgiveness for myself as well as others. May I live in practice with ease and grace. May I be happy and peaceful. May I be healthy and strong. May I be safe and protected from inner and outer harms. May I be filled with loving kindness and forgiveness. May I live and practice with ease and grace. May I be happy and peaceful. May I be healthy and strong. May I be safe and protected. May I be filled with loving kindness and forgiveness. May I live with ease and grace. Please bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra. We'll chant one Om with one another, taking a couple of cleansing breaths first. Big breath in. Let it go. Another breath in. And let that one go. Inhale and let's begin. Om. And releasing your hands. Let them rest in your lap or on your legs, and feel the warmth of your own hands. And then lifting your eyelids, let the clarity of vision return with ease. And once again, connecting with the sits bones, the spine, the neck, all the way through the crown of the head. Let's begin by lowering your chin towards your chest and gently rotating the head so the right ear draws towards the right shoulder. And then exhaling, lower down and revolve to the other side as you inhale. Exhaling, lower down. Do your best to keep your shoulders as stable as you're able as you rotate to the other side. Again, noticing any held tension, any energy that's held in the shoulders or the neck as you continue with your breath to slowly rotate your head from side to side. Inhaling as you lengthen towards either side, exhaling as you lower the chin. Gently remembering these are your Cervical vertebrae is very small compared to the rest of the spine. And lots of muscles involved. And we'll take one more cycle to both sides, please. With a long neck. And then lower the chin back towards the sternum. Gently lift so you're back to neutral and turn to look over your right shoulder. Once again, keeping the shoulders stable best you can. The spine long and the jaw soft as you turn from side to side with your breath. Inhaling as you turn to look over the shoulder and exhaling back to center. Being mindful of the shoulders, the shoulder blades, the collarbones, the facial muscles, the jaw, the eyes. Keeping the neck long. And then again, one more revolution from each side to side. And then next time you come back to center, stay there, please. Lengthen your spine, draw your belly in. Take your hands and clasp them behind you, pressing the backs of the hands towards the earth. And then draw your right ear towards your right shoulder. Stretch through the scalenes and the inner workings of the shoulder, maybe even into the bicep, feeling the arm line, and then coming to the other side. Big stretch, wrapping those shoulder blades towards one another on the back body. And then one more time, take it slow, nice and slow. Keep pressing the hands towards the earth, lifting the heart, rotating with your breath. Big stretch. And then please come back to center. Release your hands. Take them out to the sides, and we'll draw the shoulder blades towards one another once again. Open the heart, and with the palms towards the sky, take a breath in as you slowly press up, as though you're pressing through jelly, gelatin, molasses in January, thick water, whatever you envision, mud, whatever it is, it's thick. Inhaling as you press up, lifting through the side bodies, big stretch, exhaling as you press down, drawing the shoulder blades towards one another, opening the heart. And again, inhale, slowly press up, engaging the muscles in the arms. Exhale, press down. Beautiful. Then pause. Let's take a side bend. We'll start by inhaling, drawing the right arm up to the sky. Reach through the fingertips and lengthen through that side body. And as you exhale, draw the shoulder blade down. On your next inhalation, as you reach long through the side bodies, come into your side bend. Reach long through those upper fingertips, stretching all the way from the right hip through the right fingertips, rooting that hip down towards the earth. Take a breath into the armpit. And as you exhale, send it to the hip, the same hip, the right hip. Another breath in to the armpit, send it to the other hip. Just notice how that feels in your body. And then on an inhalation, ground through both hips and come back up. Taking it to the other side, flip the palm and inhale. Reach long through the fingertips. Lengthen through the side body. Exhale, draw the shoulder blade down. Inhale, lengthen the side bodies. Draw the belly in as you come into your side bend. Rooting through your left sits bone. Lengthening through your left fingertips. Invite the breath into the left armpit. And send it down to the left hip. And another breath into the same armpit. And as you exhale, send it out the other hip. On your next breath in, root through your sits bones. Come up. Let's take some shoulder shrugs. Nice and slow once again. Feeling all those tissues that are involved. Rotating, feeling the scapula, your shoulder blades sliding along your ribs, then the other way. Those wonderful shoulders. And then pause. Lengthen your neck. Draw your belly in. Reset. Lengthen the back of your neck. And then take your right arm out in front. Let it lengthen towards the other side of the room, and then as you exhale, draw that shoulder, that arm bone into the shoulder socket. Take another breath in and draw the arm long across your front body. Do what feels good here. If it feels good to hold this, stay with that. If it feels good to slide your hand along your arm, do that. Listen to your body. Let it speak to you. What feels good? Take a couple more breaths here. Let those fibers loosen, open up. And then let it go. Good. Take your left arm out. Reach it out all the way across the room. And then exhale, draw the head of the arm bone into the shoulder socket. On your next breath in, lengthen that arm across your front body. Hug it in for a few breaths, feeling that stretch along the deltoid muscle we don't often get to. Couple breaths here, and if it feels good to move that energy out, please do. Whatever feels good. And then take a breath in. And as you exhale, let it go. Take it out, shake it out, let it go. Yeah. And then find your length once again through the spine. We'll take a twist. Taking an inhale, lengthen all the way up, draw the belly in, and as you exhale, twist to the right. If it feels good, look over that back shoulder, fingertips on the mat behind you. Lift the heart, broaden through the collarbones. Take a breath in, and as you do, lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, draw the lower belly in, especially on the left side, as you're twisting to the right. Stay with your breath, lower the shoulders away from the ears. Soften the face. Soften the jaw. If it feels good in your body, turn and look over the opposite shoulder, keeping your neck long and maybe a little demure over the shoulder. Couple breaths right here, long neck, open heart. On your next inhalation, slowly bring your head back to neutral. And as you breathe in again, lengthen the spine. And exhale, return to center. Reset. Sit up tall. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, twist to the left. Left fingertips behind you. Turn to look over that back shoulder if it feels accessible and good, keeping your neck long and your jaw soft. Releasing the shoulders away from the ears on your inhalation, lengthen. And on your exhalation, draw the belly in, especially the lower right belly, twisting to the left. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to deepen in. And if it feels good in your body as you inhale, turn your head, look over your right shoulder. With a long neck, feel those fibers lengthen. Good. Broaden through the collarbones, open through the heart center. And on your next inhalation, revolve your head back to neutral. Take a breath in, grow the spine long, and as you exhale, return to center. Feels good to move, doesn't it? Let's come to child's pose. Use a blanket if that's beneficial in your practice, either under your knees or between your thighs and your calves or under the tops of your feet, whatever helps and makes your practice feel good. Bring your knees hip-width distance apart, draw the belly in, big toes come together, and then draw your sits bones towards your heels, keeping your spine long. Once you've arrived, wherever that may be in your body, begin to lengthen over your legs, over the mat, bringing your hands to the mat. Press into the hands, hug the muscles to the bones in the arms, keep them active as you walk your fingertips overhead, staying long through the spine, drawing those inner groins in and back, drawing the belly in, taking it slow as you lower down. Maybe you bring a block or a blanket under your head. You can take this in little baby steps, letting the spine unfurl, lengthen with each breath. And it's nice to send the breath into the space of the sacrum, the space below the lower ribs where the kidneys live, and the upper back behind the heart in the upper part of the ribs. And as you unwind the spine, breathe into the back body in a 3-part breath. And expand your ribs in all 360 degrees. Draw the shoulder blades down towards the hips, away from the ears, keeping your arms active. Fingertips pressing into the mat. And then please lower your elbows to the mat and bring your hands behind your head in Anjali Mudra. Fingertips towards the sky, and then press the fingertips into one another, pressing the palms away like little spiders. Reminds me of the itsy bitsy spider when I was a little one. Press the fingertips in, ignite the arms. Couple more breaths here. And then lower your hands back to the mat. Spread the fingers wide. And on an inhalation, walk your hands to the right. Lift your hips for just a moment. Set them back down and extend long through the left side body. Breathe into the armpit, the left lobe of the lung, the ribs and the side waist, even the hip. Stretch it out. And on your next inhalation, walk your fingertips back to center. Reach long through the fingertips, long through the spine. Draw the belly in, inner groins in. And on your next inhalation, walk your fingertips to the left, lifting your hips for a moment to extend a little longer through the side body. And invite the breath into the right armpit, the right lobe of the lung, the ribs, the side body, and the hip. Deep breaths in and long breaths out. On your next inhalation, come back to center. Another breath cycle here with long fingertips, long spine. And on your next inhalation, bring the hands under the shoulders, fingertips spread wide, and come into table pose. With your hands under your shoulders and your knees under your hips, let's take some cat-cows. First, please lower your heart towards the earth and sip up energy from the inner wrist to the inner armpit. Draw the shoulder blades onto the back, draw the belly in, turn your toes under, and on your next inhalation, slowly tip the tailbone towards the sky and lift through the crown of your head. Let the belly sink down. And as you exhale, press the earth away, tops of the feet towards the mat. Draw the belly in, look deeply in towards your belly button. And then as you inhale, other way. Open the heart, open the collarbones. Exhale. Draw the belly in and back. Inhale. Lengthen, open. Exhale. Press the earth away. One more cycle. Inhale. Lengthen, open. And exhale, draw it in. And then coming back to table pose, take your knees wide on your mat. Lift them. Don't drag them, please lift them. Taking care of the groins. Sit back into a wide child's pose. And here, please breathe into the groins as you draw the shoulder blades down towards the hips, away from the ears. Soften your face, let your face just fall towards the earth. Press into the fingertips and lift the arm bones up off the mat. Couple more breaths here. And then please bring your hands right under your shoulders. Spread the fingers wide and lift your knees back to hip width distance apart. If you haven't already, bring your blocks close by to the top of your mat. Walk your hands a hand's length longer. And with the fingers spread wide and the toes turned under, press up into downward facing dog, lifting your sits bones high to the sky. And you can pedal out your legs nice and slow, inhaling as you come up, exhaling as you lower each heel towards the earth. With your breath, lifting the sits bones high and sending them towards the wall behind you. Pressing out of the hands in this wonderful pose, Ardha Mukta Svanasana, downward facing dog. Stretch out those hamstrings, and then you can actually send your hips with you from side to side, pivoting the heels towards one side and then the other. Stretch out through the side body. Stretch out through the intercostals, the little muscles in between your ribs. Then come back to center. Take a breath in. Come on up to your toes. And as you exhale, lower the energy of your heels towards the mat. Lift those sits bones high. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, bend your knees and step to the front of the mat on your next breath in. Coming into Uttanasana, perhaps with your blocks, on whatever setting serves you, or you can bring your hands to your legs or to the mat. On an inhalation, come halfway up, lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, hinge at the hips and bow to the legs. Inhale, come halfway up, and you can keep your knees bent here if you like. Exhaling, hinging at the hips, bowing to the legs. Inhale, lengthen. Good. Exhale, bow in. And on your next breath in, bring your hands to your hips. Lengthen over the earth. Grow the spine long. And pressing into all four corners of your feet, use the strength of your legs to lift up. And take your arms to either side. Lift your toes up off the mat and feel your feet. Feel into your big toe pad. Take the time to feel into the outer edge of your heel. And then the baby toe pad. And the inner heel. Lift the arches, energize your feet. Give them a little awareness, a little attention. And then lower the toes, keeping all that energy active in the feet. Press them away from one another. And feel that energy as it travels up the inner thighs, up into the groins and the belly, the lower belly, and then the upper abdominals, lifting all the way up through the inner core of your body, lifting your heart, lengthening your neck, all the way up and out the crown of your head. Lift and lengthen, grounding through the soles of your feet, especially those four corners, and feeling that energy as it moves all the way up the body. Soften your jaw as you draw the ears back towards your shoulders. Good. Firm the muscles to the bones in the legs. And on your next breath in, bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra. Let's practice some half sun salutations to begin. Take a breath in and press your hands together. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another on your back. And as you exhale, release the hands to either side. Keep your neck long as you inhale. Lift the arms overhead. Reach out through the fingertips and then just let them touch over your head. Good. And as you exhale, open the arms. Hinge at the hips. Hug the muscles to the bones in the legs. And Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, draw the belly in, come halfway up. Exhale, bow in and take your hands to your outer calves. Press them into the calves and feel the inner rotation at the head of your thigh bones. On an inhalation, bring your hands to your shins and lengthen over the earth. Do your best to keep your hips over your ankles. Exhaling, fold and bring your hands to the outer calves once again, pressing in with an inner rotation at the head of the thigh bones. Inhale, lengthen, draw the shoulder blades down the back towards the hips, away from the ears. Exhale, bow and lengthen over the legs. On your next inhalation, sweep the arms out to the sides, grow the spine long. Good. And your next inhalation, lift all the way up. Fingertips overhead. Now take your right wrist into your left hand. Press into your right foot more. Take a breath in as you press out through the palm of that hand and crescent over to the left. You can let your hip go towards the right as you reach long through your extended arm, through the palm of the hand and into that foot. And then to come out of it, press more into your left foot, take a breath in and come up. Good. Switch hands. Pressing out through the palm of your left hand now and into your left foot more. Take a breath in, lengthen, and exhale. Keep pressing into your left foot. Let your hips go to the left if it feels good in your body. Stretch. Press out through the left palm into the left foot. And come up. Press into your right foot. Lengthen and come up. Let the fingertips lift towards the sky, the shoulder blades draw down towards the hips. Lift the heart into a very small thoracic back bend. If it feels good, stay out of your lumbar spine. Inhale. Exhale, bring your hands together, come into Anjali Mudra. This pose is Samastitihi, peaceful pose. Take a couple of breaths here. Keep long through the crown of your head, grounding through the feet, through the soles of your feet. And we will add on. Take a breath in, my dears. Lengthen the spine. Press the hands together. And as you exhale, release. Long fingertips, long neck. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. And float the arms down to the earth, down to the mat, down to your blocks or your legs, whatever feels best. Inhale, lengthen, come halfway up. Exhale, bow to the legs. Inhale, lengthen, come halfway up, draw the belly in. Exhale, remember that inner rotation at the head of the thigh bones as you bow to the legs. Adding on now, inhale and bend your knees. Frame your feet with your blocks or your hands. And as you exhale, send your right leg back behind you. Runner's lunge. Make sure to check out your knee over your front ankle. Pressing into all four corners of that front foot and out through the heel of your back foot. Externally rotating the head of the front thigh bone. Internally rotating the back thigh, and if it feels good, lengthen, come up, or stay where you are. Either way is perfect. Inhale here, and exhale, lower back down. Take a breath in, and we're going to lower our back knee to the mat. If you'd like a blanket under that knee, now would be the time to place it there. Once you've come down, you can take a breath in, lift the knee, send it back a little further if that feels good in your practice. And then lengthen the toes behind the leg, back behind you. Taking a look at the knee in front, make sure it doesn't jut out over your ankle. Save your knees, take good care. And then hugging the legs towards one another, find your core and maybe come up. Take a breath in and option to lift the arms. Reach long through the fingertips, long through the side bodies. Option to stay right here or lift and lengthen. Arms up. They also can be in cactus arms. Wherever it feels good in your body, take a breath. And as you exhale, lower the hands back to the blocks. Good. We'll send the hips back, lifting the front toes, and you can walk your blocks back with you. Take the toes to the sky, your left toes towards the sky. Breathe into that hamstring, the back of your calf. And then as you inhale, come forward, and you can stay right here or reach behind you, find your leg, find your foot. Stretch out your quad. If you're having any kind of lower back issues, this can be really helpful. It's all connected. Maybe you come into a small twist here. And take a breath in. And as you exhale, with control, lower the back foot back down and send the hips back again. Behind you, lift the front toes towards the sky. Stretch out. Keep your spine as long as you can. Long spine, healthy spine. Inhale. Come forward one more time. You can stay here or reach back. Stretch it out. Lengthen the spine, lengthen the neck. Do your best to keep the left knee still over the ankle foot. And then inhale, lower the foot to the mat with control. Turn your toes under back there and lift back up. Runner's lunge once again. Take a couple breaths here. Draw the belly in, keep the spine long. And then lengthen your front leg, bend your back, and we'll step up to Uttanasana briefly. Take a breath in, bend your knees, and on your exhalation, send your left foot back behind you. Runner's lunge, press out through that back heel. Take a look at your front knee over the ankle foot, best you can. Stay long through the spine, and with an inner rotation on the back leg, outer rotation on the front, hug the legs towards one another isometrically and lift up. Beautiful. Take a couple of breaths right here. And anytime you want to, lower down. Press out through that back heel. Beautiful, and once you've arrived, take another breath in, and then lower your knee to the mat. And again, you can take a breath in and send the knee back just a little farther, and then lengthen your toes back behind the leg. Take a look at your front knee. Make sure it doesn't come forward of your ankle. And inhale, draw the legs towards one another isometrically. Draw the belly in, lift the spine. Stay right here, or option to take the arms out to the sides. And your choice, bring the arms up overhead, leave them where they are. Maybe take cactus arms, and maybe take a breath in, and lift your heart, expand your ribs. Take it through the upper back. Take care to keep your tailbone drawing down and the pressure out of your lumbar spine. Inhale, exhale, lower down. Good. And then from here, we're going to send the hips back, lengthen the front leg, toes to the sky. Breathe into the stretch. Keep long through the crown of the head. Tailbone all the way through the spine up to the top of your head, and then inhale, rock forward. And if it feels good in your practice, you can reach around, find that back foot, take a twist, or stay where you are. Do your best to keep your right knee in alignment with the ankle and the foot. And then inhale, lower, and send your hips back. Walk your blocks back with you. Breathe into the stretch. And then inhale. We'll take that one more time. You can stay right here, breathing into whatever arises as sensation in your body or Find your back foot with your right hand and take the twist, or not. And then another inhalation to come out of it. Turn your back toes under and press up. Take a couple of breaths here. Make sure you're on railroad tracks and not a tightrope. Feel the strength in your legs, and then bending the back knee, straightening the front. Step forward, bring your blocks with you. Uttanasana. Let the spine unfurl. Couple breaths here, lifting the hips high. And then take your hands behind you, intertwine your fingers, open through the collarbones, send your elbows to either side, and keeping the shoulder blades on your back body, lift your arms towards the sky. Open just a little bit more through the pectorals. Breathe. Firm the muscles to the bones in the legs. Find all four corners of both feet. Draw the belly in, and on an inhale, with the strength of your legs, rise up. Press the backs of your hands towards the earth as you open through the front body. Take a couple of breaths into your front body. And then release your hands, let them float up and back to Anjali Mudra. And take a few breaths right here. Just feeling the energy flow, the prana, the life force energy of your own ecosystem, your own body. Then you can release your hands, and let's practice a few standing poses. If you like blocks, you know what? Let's make sure to have the blocks in the front of your long edge for when we set up for a forward fold a little while from now. To begin, we'll take a wide stance on the mat, whatever feels comfortable in your practice. And parallel your feet with the short edges of your mat. Ground into your feet. See how it feels to draw them towards one another isometrically. Just feel the adductors as they wake up. Draw the belly in and send the tailbone towards the earth. And then parallel your right foot with the long edges of your mat. Ground into your feet, firm the muscles to the bones. Draw the belly in. Draw that energy all the way up. Open your heart. And then take a breath in. Take the arms out to the sides. Good. Next breath in. Lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, bend into your right knee. Press into the outer edge of the back foot, lifting that inner ankle, and take a glance at your front knee. Make sure you can see your big toe. Lengthen the spine, reach out through your fingertips, and then on your next breath in, send the fingertips towards the ceiling. Press out through the palms of your hands. Draw the triceps towards your bones, and then inhale, send the fingertips towards the earth. Press out through the back of the wrists. And then lengthen the arms, the fingertips, those are what lengthen. And flip your front palm towards the sky. We'll reverse the warrior. Inhale, and come into that beautiful, peaceful warrior. You can let your left hand travel down your thigh or take it around into the bind, whatever feels best for you in your practice today. Keeping the right knee over the ankle foot best you can. Inhale and come back to Virabhadrasana 2. Let's move into side angle pose. We'll take your left hand to your hip and lower your front arm, your right arm to your thigh, and then revolve the ribs to face the long edge of your mat, stacking the shoulders. Keep pressing into the outer edge of your back foot, lifting the inner ankle, and you can stay right here or lengthen your left arm along your side body, along the thigh, and then flipping the palm to the sky, option to lift and lengthen that arm over your ear, reaching out from the back heel through the left fingertips. Long line, extended side angle pose. Tuck your right hip under. Couple more breaths here. And on your next inhalation, come back up, press up into Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, exhale, lower the arms, lengthen the leg. And then pivot your right foot so it parallels the short edge. Take a breath, reset, lengthen the spine, send the tailbone towards the earth, and then pivot your left foot forward. Check to see that the heel and the arch of your right foot intersect with one another. Again, lengthening the spine, tailbone towards the earth, belly draws in, heart lifts up, and inhale, send the arms out to the sides, draw the shoulder blades towards one another. From the muscles to the bones in the arms and the legs, take another breath in, and as you exhale, bend your left knee right over the ankle foot. Hug your left hip under and press out into the outer edge of your back foot, lifting the ankle. Take a few breaths here. Lift your heart. Draw your belly in. Extend long through the fingertips. And then flipping your left palm to the sky, come into reverse warrior, peaceful warrior. Extend long through the left side body, an option to take the bind. Breathe into the stretch. Keep the legs active. Inhale, come back to Virabhadrasana 2, making sure your knee is just over the ankle foot. Shoulder blades on the back. And let's come into extended side angle on this side. Lower your left elbow, forearm onto your thigh. And then wrap the ribs so your rib cage faces the side of your mat, the long edge of your mat, stacking the shoulders, pressing into the outer edge of the back foot. An option to lengthen your right arm along your side. An option to turn the palm towards the sky and draw the arm long over your ear, reaching out through the fingertips. Beautiful long line from heel to fingertips. Hug the left hip under. Breathe here. Active legs. And on your next breath in, come back, Virabhadrasana 2. Look out over your left fingertips if that feels good. Draw the legs towards one another isometrically. Feel how that feels in your body, and then press them away from one another. See how that feels. Inhale, Exhale, lengthen the leg, lower the arms, and pivot your both feet so they're facing forward, facing the long edge of your mat. We'll take a nice deep breath here before we come into wide-legged forward fold. So resetting, hug the muscles to the bones in your legs, draw the belly in, send your tailbone down towards the earth, and you can take your hands right to your hip crease. Take a breath in, extend long through the crown of your head, and then as you exhale, hinge at the hips and do your best to keep your hips in alignment with your heels. As you lower down, there's a tendency to let the hips come way back. So do your best to keep them in alignment, drawing the belly in, lower down, and find your blocks. Or the earth, whatever feels best. And you can let your heels come out to either side a little more than your toes, if that's helpful. Continue to grow the spine long, and maybe you stay right where you are, or maybe you lower down a little more. Letting gravity assist the spine in growing a little longer. Letting it all hang down towards the earth with some support from your hands. Lift the hips and let the head draw down towards the earth, keeping your spine as long as you are able. And a couple breaths here. Feel those hamstrings, calves. And let's take a breath in, bend your right knee and walk your hands to the right. Hug the muscles to the bones in your extended leg, protecting the inner ligamentation. And then on your next inhalation, walk your hands to the other side, bend that knee, and hug the muscles to the bones in your extended leg. Again, walk your hands to the other side and bend the knee and hug the muscles to the bones in your left thigh and your left leg. Breathing in, walk your hands over to the left. Hug the muscles to the bones in your extended leg. And then please come back to center. Press into all four corners of both feet. Hug the muscles to the bones in your legs and then begin to lift up and lengthen over the earth. Draw the belly in. Widen through the collarbones. Find your blocks if that's helpful. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another on the back. Firm into both feet and find your hip creases with your hands. And with the strength of your legs, lift up. Good. Draw the belly in and then heel toe your feet towards one another until you can step into Tadasana. And then come forward. Take a few breaths. Feel the results, the reality, the truth of your practice in this moment in your body. So not in a critical way, not in a comparative way, just simply allow your body to speak to you. Good. And then let's all meet back down on the mat on our blankets in a seated position. And once you've arrived on your seat, I'd like to take a twist. So we'll start by drawing the right foot around to the left side of your body. See if this feels good. If not, you can let the leg extend forward. If you're taking it in this way, make sure your right knee is facing right out the center of your mat, and flex the foot, dorsiflex the foot. Then bring your left foot to cross over your thigh. So if your leg is long, it looks like this. And if you bring your foot around, it looks like this. Wherever you've chosen to be, press into the big toe pad of your left foot. And then hugging that knee, lengthen the spine, take a breath in and lift the heart open through the collarbones. Take another breath cycle here. Next breath in, grow a little longer. And as you exhale, turn to the left, bringing your left fingertips behind you. And you can stay right here, keeping that right foot dorsiflexed, pressing into the big toe pad of your left foot. Or you can take your right arm up and bring it in front of the knee, perhaps wrapping that left shoulder blade onto your back body. Breathe. Maybe you turn to look over your back shoulder. Soft jaw, soft eyes, releasing the shoulders away from the ears. Couple breaths here. And then take a breath in, grow the spine long. Draw the belly in, and as you exhale, come back to center. Lift and lengthen through the crown of your head. And then we'll take the other side. But first, if you'd like, you could take your legs out in front. Give them a shake. And again, your choice. You can wrap the left foot to the outer side of your right hip, keeping that foot actively dorsiflexed so you don't tweak your ankle, and then bringing your right foot to the outside of your left leg. Sit up tall and hug in. Press into the big toe pad of this foot, this front foot. Keep both feet active. Sit up tall, draw the belly in, and then take a breath. Lengthen the spine, and we'll take the twist as you exhale. Turn to the right. Right hand behind you like a kickstand. And you can stay right here, hugging that front knee. Or if it feels good in your body, take your left arm up and bring it in front of the knee. And this side might be different than the other side. It certainly is in my body. Keep drawing the belly in and softening through the shoulders. You can look over your back shoulder if that's accessible, if it feels good. Or keep your gaze right in front, whatever feels best. Wherever you choose, please keep your spine long, lifting through the crown of your head. Inhaling, growing the spine long, and as you exhale, draw the belly in, deepen the twist. Take another breath in, lengthen up, and as you exhale, return to center. Good. And take your legs out in front once again. Give them a little shake. Press out through the soles of your feet. Walk your sits bones towards the front of your blanket so that they tip forward. The sits bones tip forward. The whole pelvis actually tips forward. Extend the legs long. Press out through the soles of your feet, especially the big toe pad, and draw those baby toes back towards either side of the body. So you're really pressing out through the big toe pad. Draw the belly in and inner rotate at the head of the thigh bones. Take another breath in and lengthen, and we'll come into Paschimottanasana. Exhale, hinge at the hip, and stay long in your spine. Keep the spine long and only go as far as your long spine will allow. That looks great. Keep breathing. Inhale and exhale. Keep inner rotating at the head of the thigh bones. Active feet, active legs, active belly. Shoulder blades drawing towards one another on the back body. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe you go a little deeper, maybe not. No judgments, no criticisms, no comparisons. Lengthen and breathe. Couple more breaths here. And then on your next inhalation, draw the belly in and lift back up. And let's come on to our backs. Bring a block, please. And as you lower down, bring your feet to the mat, hip width distance apart, feet on the floor, knees bent, constructive rest pose. Take a few breaths here and notice your spine. If you notice that you have a lift through the lower spine, do your best to draw your lower back down. Not necessarily all the way down, but if the ribs are popping up and there's a deep arch through the back body, you can lift your hips, lengthen through the tailbone, and then lower the hips back to the mat. And then lengthen the back of your neck so your chin isn't jutting up towards the sky, but rather is lowered a little bit towards your sternum. Then draw your shoulder blades under you. Good. Let's all take a deep breath in and let it go. And another one like that. And let it go. On your next inhalation, draw your right knee towards your chest. Hug in, flex the foot, toes to the sky. Again, notice your lower back. If it's lifted, lower it down towards the mat. Lengthen your neck. Take a breath in. And on your next exhalation, send your left heel long on your mat. Flex those toes, press out through the sole of your left foot. Both feet are active. Draw the baby toes towards their respective shoulders and press out through the big toe pads. Release your shoulders. Breathe here. Perhaps pursing your lips as though you're breathing out through a straw on the exhalation, making that exhalation long and slow. If you're having any kind of lower back issues, this can be so beneficial. And here's an option to lift your extended leg just an inch or two off the mat. You can stay right there if it feels good, pressing out through the big toe pad. Option to outer rotate from the head of the thigh bone all the way down to the foot. Doing your best to keep that leg only a couple inches off the mat. Couple breaths here, and if you have trembling in your leg or any of that kind of thing, know that that's just normal or okay. Energy being released through those big muscles. And then if you outer rotated, please bring your foot back to neutral, your leg, your whole leg back to neutral. And then inner rotate from the head of the thigh bone. Maybe not as much of a rotation. Couple breaths here. And then release that, come back to neutral. Take a breath in and lower the foot to the mat. Good. Notice if there's any release, any change, any shift. Take another breath in and lower your right foot to the mat. As you exhale, extend it long along your mat. Just breathing here, noticing body sensations, whatever is going on in your body. And listening with that inner awareness of the inner body. And then please bring both feet back to the mat. Constructive rest pose, perhaps lifting the hips once again to lengthen through the tailbone. Draw that lower back towards the mat and lengthen the back of your neck. Take a breath in as you draw your left knee towards your chest, flexing through that foot, toes to the sky. Another breath in, and as you exhale, send your right leg long on the mat. And again, press out through both big toe pads, drawing the baby toes towards their shoulders. Press out through your right big toe pad especially. Noticing any shifts or changes, subtle as they may be. Do your best to relax your shoulders, your neck, and your face. Option to lift that leg up off the mat, press out through the big toe pad. Option to externally rotate from the head of the thigh bone. If you've chosen to take the rotation, come back to neutral, please. And then inner rotate all the way from the head of the thigh bone. Bring the toes back to the sky. Take a breath here and lower your leg back to the earth. Breathe here, notice any shifts or changes. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, lower your left foot to the mat and extend it long. Notice the reality, the truth, the unarguable truth of what's going on in your body in this moment, and just allow it to be. Soften your shoulders, your eyes, your jaws. If you notice your chin has lifted up towards the sky, please lengthen the back of your neck. And then please bring both feet back to the mat, hip-width distance apart. Second toes facing away from you. You can lengthen your arms along your side bodies. Find your heels. Send the toes long away from you. Find your block, and we'll take supported bridge. Please set your block on either the medium or the low setting. On an inhalation, pressing into all four corners of your feet, lift your hips straight up and place the block right under your sacrum. Your sacrum, that flat triangular shaped bone along the back of your pelvis. And you can stay right here. It's okay to stay right here. In this slight inversion, allowing the blood, the fluids of the body to locate the heart. Staying right here, or perhaps it feels good in your body to lift your legs towards the sky. Letting those fluids run all the way down. Towards the heart, towards the brain. Maybe you feel your abdominal organs resting deeply back towards the back body. If it feels good in your practice, you can flex your feet and extend your legs wide, keeping the feet flexed, protecting the ligamentation. Hug the muscles to the bones. You can support your thighs with your hands. And you can bring your feet back up to the sky. Lengthening through the toe tips, reaching long through the toe tips. Keeping some muscle energy active in the legs. And if your legs are lifted, take a breath in, and as you exhale, slowly lower them down with control. You can lengthen your fingertips, your arms along your side bodies and find your heels. Once again, aligning your second toe away from you. And take a few breaths here. And rooting into all four corners of both feet. Take a breath in and press into those feet. Lift your hips right up and scoot the block out from under you. And then roll it down slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Lengthening through the lower spine, sending the tailbone long. Finding the mat. Take a breath in and draw the knees towards your chest, flex your feet, and let the thigh bones make their journey down on their own time. As they make their journey, release your shoulders, lengthen your neck. And once your knees have lowered down their full extent, take your hands to them and rotate, making big circles to begin. And then you can make those circles smaller to reach all the surface of your sacrum, and then go the other way. Loving kindness to ourselves, taking care, self-massage, so nice and beneficial. Come to stillness and then bring those knees in a little more. Couple breaths here. And then lengthening the arms between the legs, find your feet or your ankles. For a happy baby, maybe you find your thighs or your knees. And take a few breaths here. Draw the knees towards the earth. Press the feet into the hands if your feet and hands have met. Release your shoulders, your neck, and your face. Breathe into the groins and the hips, the pelvic floor, the root chakra. And if it feels good in your body, you can bring the soles of your feet together, pressing the knees out for Supta Baddha Konasana. Soft jaw, soft eyes, deep, long breaths in and out. And then bringing the knees back together, wrap your arms around those knees, hug in, lift your head if it feels good, grow small, small as you can, little tiny you. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, release and find your way into Shavasana. Notice your back body. Lengthen your spine. Equally distribute your weight on your sacrum, on your hips. Release your shoulders and draw your shoulder blades under your back, and let your legs be a little wider on your mat. Palms to the sky in a gesture of receptivity. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let it all go, all the way down and out the soles of your feet. Take another one like that. And again, as you exhale, let it all flow out. Then notice the bones of your body. And let them grow heavy. And bring awareness to the muscles of your body. And feel them as they let go of all tension, of all activity. And soften completely, losing all form, sinking down. Feel your skin as it begins to melt away down into your mat. Perhaps you notice an amazing sense of spaciousness. Spaciousness within. The infinite space within. begin to notice your breath. The sweet, quiet inhalation and exhalation. And please begin to bring awareness back to your body. The breath, breathing the body, the rise, the fall of the chest and the belly. Enjoying the inhalations and the exhalations. The lift and release of the chest and belly. And then begin to notice your fingertips and toe tips, rubbing your thumbprint along each fingertip. And then wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers, rotating wrists and ankles in both directions. Take a delicious breath in and stretch your arms overhead, point your toes. Enjoy the stretch and then release. Let it go. Take any movement that feels good in your body. And then roll to your right side. Enjoy a few breaths there, letting it all settle in completely. And when you're ready, find your way back to your seat on your mat, bringing your hands together in Anjali Mudra. And bow your head to your heart, please. Take a moment to thank your heart. And a moment of gratitude for one another. For those who are not here and for those who are not seen, much gratitude as well. Gratitude for all that teach us and give us joy and a little light as we travel the path of life. Gratitude for all those who have gone before. Gratitude for life itself and this beautiful gift. And let's send out some loving kindness to all beings. May all beings be happy and peaceful. And may all beings be healthy and strong. May all beings everywhere be safe and protected. May all living beings everywhere be filled with loving kindness and forgiveness. And may all beings live with ease and grace for every day of their lives. May this be so. And please join me in chanting one Om, Aum, that divine sound that also invigorates our parasympathetic nervous systems. Take a breath in and we'll begin. Aum. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining with one another, for your consistent practice, and for joining with me this morning. Namaste.